Hello, friends. I thought I'd slightly change the venue today and also change to my other team's jersey, Scotland. You may laugh at this, but I'm actually Scotland qualified. I've got three grandparents who were born in Scotland, which I think makes it a shoe-in, but I'm not sure that I'm not sure that Gregor Townsend is looking for a man over 60 to strengthen his squad. However, leave that as it may, be that as it may. So I wear a Japan top because I've lived in Japan for 35 years continuously since 1988, and the Scotland top comes naturally because of my parentage. Okay, so that's that out of the way. Anyway, and the other thing to say is that I'm relieved that they're not in the same pool this time, because they always seem to end up, or have seemed to end up, in the same pool and killed each other off beforehand. So good. So I watched Argentina Samoa last night. I actually watched it live in Japan, which was starting at 12:30 in the morning and going on till, oh gosh, was it 3:30 or slightly before that? And yeah, I was relieved, to be frank, that Argentina stopped Samoa from, I suppose, pretty much securing the second spot in the quarterfinals from Pool D. Well, that's the way I saw it anyway. So I think that gives Japan a slightly better chance. But of course, Japan has to beat both Argentina and Samoa. And then there might be a question about the margin of victory and the points difference, because there was that nightmare scenario in 2015 when Japan beat the Box. And I think they won 3 games, did they not? And yet they still didn't manage to get into the quarterfinals because of the points difference, which was pretty sad. So there is that sad experience for Japan in the past. Anyway, that's all for next week. And right now, Japan is taking a rest this weekend. And well, what have we got? Scotland are going to play Tonga. Should be a win for Scotland on paper. And the past 5 results, I think, are good. I think they're 4-1 to Scotland. I was just watching 2 Cents Rugby, and I think that's what he said. Mark said. Anyway, so what else have we got? We've got Wales, Australia. Yes. Well, isn't that a tasty one? Because, well, Eddie, as we've all said, or a lot of people have said, Eddie Jones' job may depend on the result. If Australia lose to Wales, it looks like they're out of they can't get to the quarterfinals. And it's all very well Eddie Jones saying in press conferences that he's building for the next World Cup in Australia in 2027. But I mean, I'm not sure that's going to impress many Australians, especially if this is the first time that they don't make the quarterfinals. Well, this is all up in the air. But one thing that does disturb me somewhat is rumors, or well, I've got them from a fairly good source, that the president of the JRFU, Tsuchida-san, who's a Suntory man, ex-Suntory man, has been in touch with Eddie about the possibility of coming back to coach Japan, which I don't think many people here would regard as a good idea. I don't really think either he nor John Cohen should come back. I think it's time, if we're going to have a foreigner, let's have somebody new like Franz Ludiker. I'm sure he's not available, but Rog, at La Rochelle, Ronan O'Gara. I think he'd be a good pick, but because he's shown himself very adaptable to French culture. And I think, he'd be having to take it to another level to adapt to Japanese culture, but I somehow have faith in him that he could do that. All right, so those are a couple of names I've flung into the mix. There's a Japanese, why not have a Japanese now? It's about time, is it not? Sawaki-san, who was the Sun Wolves coach. And I think he's a pretty good coach. Anyway, who knows what's going to happen? But honestly, I'd rather not. If you're asking me, I'd rather we didn't go back into the Back to the Future or Back to the Past or whatever we call it by having either Eddie Jones or John Kerwin. Not that they didn't do a good job while they were in the post, but I don't think it's really time to move back into that field. All right. So what else have we got, which is interesting this weekend? Oh, my Lord. Georgia, Portugal, I think I've already said I don't really know too much about them. And I don't think they're either of them going to make the quarterfinals. But perhaps they'll treat it as a kind of do or die final game. And that'll be interesting, a European clash there. England, Chile, well, my heart says that I really want Chile to win. There are reasons for that. My mother was born there. By the way, I was born in Peru. And actually, although we're looking for the proof, we might not be looking for the proof, but there should be a Chile jersey from about 1952 or so, which my dad played for them against Ireland when they were a touring team back in the day. So I'd have to back Chile, wouldn't I? I do back Chile, although the head says it's going to be England. I think they've just got too much firepower, but England are a curious mob, especially when Marler is in the mix. So we'll wait and see what happens there. And I think Farrell is coming back, is he not? And is he going to play 10 or 12 and all that question? I think they should keep, if I was doing it, I would keep Ford at 10. Although perhaps they'll do a substitute halfway through and have Farrell on at 10 and then Ford, or I don't know. And the biggest one of this weekend, Saturday evening, is, of course, South Africa, Ireland. That's very interesting, isn't it? Because we've got Ireland as number one in the world, ranked number one, and the Box, who won the last World Cup, and they're ranked number two. So it really couldn't get better, couldn't be a better game or matchup, and that could be a classic. We hope so, anyway. I hope it doesn't descend from a high level of rugby, which both teams are certainly capable of. And I hope that it really makes the World Cup something special and memorable. Already there have been some good games, of course, and I think we're all enjoying it. But it's this is 1 against 2. It's big time. And from a Scotland point of view, I think I want South Africa to beat Ireland, just from a Scotland point of view. And I think Scotland can beat Ireland, but it's, we're talking about ranked 5 against ranked number 1. So it's a little bit of a stretch, but it's by no means impossible, is it? So dream on, dream big, and come on, Scotland, let's do it. That's about all I've got to say for the moment, which is probably not much detail. But then I want to share some screens. All right, let's see what I've got here to share. First of all, well, this is my YouTube presence, and within that, I've got a playlist of the Rugby World Cup France. I've also got a separate rugby playlist, and as you can see, I've been wearing the Japan top quite a bit. I've also got this is the web page for the book I've translated, 8 Steps to Build an Invincible Team, a rugby coaching Bible from Japan, which I've tried to keep nice and simple. There's the cover. There's the books, the actual books. So you're welcome to take a look at that if you wish. And I think it's got some insights into Japanese rugby, which indeed are valuable. And of course, there's I'm going in reverse order actually from what I planned, but there we are. And there's your official World Cup France website with all the pools and what have you. So yeah, and highlights Argentina versus Samoa. So you can actually watch everything and enjoy it. And even there we are. Nigel Owens is words of wisdom as well. So anyway, that's about all I've got to say for the moment. I think I'll close that. Whoops, close. Yes. And I wish you a good weekend, and I hope your team goes well, and I hope the right results happen for the general good of rugby union. All right. Thanks very much. Bye now. Cheers.